All right. Should be good. Give it like a minute for some people to hop on. It's about 2:30, so we'll try to do about 30 minutes here. We'll see what happens. I always say 30 minutes ends up being way longer. But it's been a while since I've done this, guys. What's up, Casper? How you doing, dude? Make sure you guys hit the like button. I didn't realize it's been like 2 weeks since I did a live stream. Not until I did that like pretty long delta hedging video did I realize that it's been a while. So very happy to do this. How's it going, Ivan? It's going pretty well, man. It's going really well. Today's a very, very boring day in the market, but going very well. Hope you're doing good. Hope you had a good weekend. Goal of today is to just go over SPY, talk about Tesla, go over some trades I'm looking at, some trades I'm in, kind of talk about where I think the market's going to go in the next couple of weeks, answer some questions that you guys have, and we'll go from there. So we'll see what's up. Tesla sitting flat. Yeah, it's pretty flat right now. Ryan, what's up, brother? Welcome back, dude. Excited to be back. I'm gonna start streaming more. It's just I have to be like in the mindset to do it, and if it's a day where like I'm super busy, I have meetings, I have to trade, put videos out, I just don't want to like force anything. So we'll start. We'll go through Tesla, and we'll talk about a couple of other tickers. If you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat section, and I will answer them. We'll go over Tesla. We'll go over the S&P 500. If you guys have questions on trading, if you guys have questions on technicals, if you want me to look at a ticker, risk management, anything, let me know. I have 50K more, but that's the last of it. Don't want to add now and have it dump on me. I feel you, right? I completely feel you. Post FOMC rally, potentially. There's still, we'll talk about this as we talk about SPY, but there's still this phantom print level to be hit. For some reason, my trend spider is just ridiculous right now, and it's not working the way I want it to work. And it says that we took out that print level, but we did not take out that print level. So I don't know what its problem is. It says SPY hit 375 today. It didn't. But we'll see what happens. We'll talk about that. There's still a big print level to hit down here. I think we'll probably close that out. And I think there's more room for us to fade, especially with SPY breaking like the 390s last week. Will markets rally like the last FOMC meeting? I don't think so, honestly. But we'll talk about that in a minute. So let's go through Tesla. Very first thing. It's what we usually talk about the most here. But really just still sitting on this level. So for Tesla, we have this top of this Fibonacci retracement, this 313 level. This level Tesla has been trying to push through for a very, very long time now. You guys can see, I'm going to make this a little bit like, maybe we'll make it yellow, be a little bit easier for you guys to see. But you can see we've been trying to push through this level. Every single time we get up to this range, Tesla just can't hold, can't push through this level. And every single time, one thing to note is like the 2 times we touched here, we had lower volume. So when we're looking for a breakout on a stock, we want to see volume get higher. Now, one good thing is that as we're going into this resistance this time, the stock is pushing up into this resistance, and if you look, the volume is getting higher. So today the volume is lower, but we still have like an hour and a half. So we'll see what happens, but you want to see increased volume as we go into a resistance point. So we had Tesla break support, fell through this back on the 29th of August, quick rebound, and we've been holding this range now for a bit. So a lot of bullish movement today on Tesla. If you guys are part of the Discord, which if you're not, you totally should. It's completely free, link in the description. But if you're over there, I've been in the Tesla chat this morning talking about this move on Tesla. Earlier this morning, we were talking about the unusual flows that were coming through and the big moves that they were buying. And this is why I get really worried posting within that Discord community about unusual flows, because I feel that sometimes people just chase them. The move that they were really playing, I'm going to make this bigger so it's easier for you to see, but the move they were really playing this morning was from down around 297 up to 310. There was a lot of buying coming through. I'll show you the exact buying as we get into looking at the flow, but there was a lot of buying coming in. We held this 15-minute orb because the 15-minute ORB, this range right here, this is just the first 15 minutes of trading, and it tends to be an intraday support and resistance. And usually if we break through the top, we're going to rally for the rest of the day. If we break through the bottom, we're going to fade for the rest of the day. So looking at Tesla, they were buying up the open where we were down, futures were down, Tesla was down 297, and we had this massive rally followed by a bull flag, which we could draw the bull flag out right here, followed by this flag. And then from that flag, we had a push up followed by a smaller flag and then a final push up. So this was the initial run that they were looking at this morning. And if we go to the alerts log, this is all the alerts that came through. So 9:34, 9:56, 10:29, 10:47, 10:53, and then they started hitting puts. And I'm currently in some puts on Tesla that I'm up like $110. Probably gonna close them out before the rest of the day. I was looking for a push through 305 to hopefully drive Tesla back down to 302, 300 today. Just doesn't seem like that's happening. But if we look at the initial flow at 9:34, this was the calls that hit. So I'm going to go back, just make it easier. There we go. And look at the flow. So this is the initial flow that came through. It's not allowing me to go back to 10:46 a.m., but this is all of the calls that were hit on this 9:23 310s. So 9:34 a.m., they started hitting these. Then they went through, go back to Tesla and look at the alerts. 9:56, they were hitting those 9:15 425s. Those 425s are just ridiculous. And then at 10:29 they were hitting those 305s for 9:23. So a ton of weeklies. When you see a lot of weekly unusual flow, it's always going to usually be a day trade, max maybe a one night hold. Make sure you guys hit the like button too. There's 133 people watching, only 14 people hitting the like button. And let me know if you guys have any questions or any tickers you want me to go over. Once we get through Tesla in the market, we'll go through the chat and look at some tickers. But a lot of weeklies coming through. This is when we were watching this rally. Like I said earlier this morning, if we zoom in, this is usually a very good sign as well. This is a lot harder to zoom in here. But at 10 a.m., you can see as we're coming into this resistance on the daily, and then we see unusual flows hitting at 10 a.m. with good volume, that's usually a pretty good sign that we're going to see a breakout to the upside. And then more came in. And then I posted today, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. Peter DiCarlo. I'm trying to just search my own name within the Discord. Not going to be able to. But I posted within the Discord, like close to around 11:30 a.m. saying I would probably end up closing out my position if you guys had any calls. So I ended up entering some puts and we'll see what happens here. I'd be taking short-term profits here, as I said, at 11:10 a.m. And the reason for that at the time was because when we hit 309, buying subsided, more puts came through, and then we had this dark pool that's going to probably end up being sells because it acted as a resistance, and this is when we faded through. So not bad. Short term, Tesla had a really good run today, but we're going to have to watch for the next couple of days to see if we can push through 311, 312 with some good volume. That's really what we're watching. Now, as far as the S&P 500 today, we're just sitting flat. We had some phantom prints come through today at 372, 375, 387. So does anybody not know what a phantom print is? We can like briefly actually, I'm not going to go through that. A phantom print is basically like a magnetic price action. So I need to post this here. Phantom prints. I didn't see this morning on spot. So a phantom print is normally going to be a print that acts as like a magnetic price support or a magnetic price target. My chart that you guys will see here on SPY does not have a ton of prints because a lot of them were taken out. So if you guys have been watching for a bit, you guys know that we had a lot of phantom prints up around 410, 414. Those prints got taken out last week and the week before. We had a phantom print recently at 385, another print at 375, and then more prints at 372 and 375 today, which I'll go through. I'm going to keep the one at 375, keep this at 372. I'm going to rename this. Added prints on 9/19. So these will tend to normally act as a price magnet. And so when I see the fact, and we'll talk about, a lot of people are asking about the Fed coming up this week and if I think it's going to push the market up. I don't think it's going to push the market up. We'll talk about why in a minute. But looking at SPY, we have this Fibonacci retracement. So basically starting down at the swing low to the swing high, we have this heavy area of volume here on this heat map. This red area on the heat map is just the biggest area of volume that we have within this level. Pulled all the way down, bounced off of the 0.618 Fibonacci, which is a golden retracement, pushed all the way back up, took out these phantom prints, still have that 419, but took out these phantom prints, rejected on the heat map area or that major resistance. Then from there, we gap down, and we note too, we have a gap to fill down here around like 369. We gap down, tried to hold 390. This was the area we had to hold on this fib retracement. Took another drop on Friday, held here. We didn't hit this low. I don't know why this wick is here, but we didn't. We hit low, say like 381, 390, or 381 to 380.90 something. And from here, we have phantom prints coming through, more of them. We had the originals at 375, more came through today, and then more came through at like 372. So with all of those, and with the fact that we're under this golden Fibonacci level, I do think that we're going to end up seeing the market drop in the next couple of weeks, probably down to 370, maybe 372. So I'm still bearish on the market at all. We'll see what happens. At this point, I do have a mixed bag of positions open. I had a lot of puts on Friday, which I ended up closing. I currently have some Tesla puts, which I don't know if I'm going to hold overnight, honestly. Right now, I'm just really trying to play a conservation of capital mindset. A lot of what I'm doing right now is selling cash secured puts and playing these shorter term puts. But looking at SPY, I ultimately think we're going to drop to 375, 372 range. Best entry for puts would be if we can rally back up to 390. I would be looking to enter at 390, setting a stop up around like 399 and taking profits down at 370. But I'm not so bearish that like I'm taking puts on the S&P 500 right now. So we'll see what happens. And SPY is trying to push right through 386 at this moment. Looking at triple Qs, same situation. Triple Qs, I don't think had any more phantom prints today. I actually haven't looked. We had one phantom print at 283 today. So I should actually post that as well at 1036. So we did have one at 283. So that is not a good sign as well. 283 right here. There we go. So that phantom print of 283 would be taken out tomorrow or the next day. That's a 2.5% drop, maybe by the end of the week or next week. But same situation. Big heavy heat map line here at 295. We were unable to hold this fib retracement level, and so it looks like we're probably going to continue to drop. I want to actually post this within the triple Q section too. So overall, not a huge fan of the market. Let's look at some questions. Let's say, Pete, I'm stuck in a squeeze, shorted 275. Do you think I should hold? I'm trying to hold. I don't get out, miss out on the drop back. Wild and free. Is it an actual short position? Like if you actually sold shares short, it'll be different than puts. I'm trying to hold so I don't miss out on the drop back down. Let me know if it's actual shorts. If you went short, we can go over that differently if it's a put. Mark, thanks for all you do. Thank you, Mark. Looks like an inverse head and shoulders. Can I sell Tesla shares? I'm planning to hold long term. What can I do? Sell it or leave it? Keenan, if you plan to hold long term, just hold them. You know, it's up to you. If you believe in the company, and you want to actually hold long term, just hold it. I think the question you have to ask when you're looking long term is, what do you consider long term, and do you need that money? That's one thing you have to look at a lot. If you don't need the money, that's what you should be looking at. But if you're like, I see this happen a lot where people get into investing. Maybe they save 10 grand, 20 grand. They want to go buy a house in the next couple of years, or they want to, you know, buy a new car, or they need the money for something, just not right now. And then they invest, they get stuck. Yeah. Like Ken, or Keenan, if you don't need that, then yeah, just hold on to it. If you really want to time the market, you could sell, but like owning shares of Tesla here is not bad at all, honestly. Let's see. Nvidia. Let's take a look. So, Nvidia had a really good bear flag here. You guys can see, let me actually go through and update this. We had a really solid bear flag here, ran up, came up to this level. I was looking at puts. My take profit was going to be up around, if we dropped through 154 coming out of this bear flag. Nvidia, here's the thing. All right, let's look at the weekly chart, because Nvidia's down on this 200 SMA. Nvidia doesn't look bad from a trading perspective, honestly. There's a huge level of volume here at 130, like a really big level of volume. It's also where the 200 SMA is. I don't think this looks bad, honestly. I really don't. If we snap 125, then we're kind of in some shit, because the next level of support is like 100, and then from there is 69. So personally, I don't think this looks bad. What I would personally be doing, not financial advice, is I would look to enter here. I would look to take profits at 161, 162, and I'd look to stop out around 120. But bigger time frame, there's a really, really strong support there. Really, really strong support. Do you see Tesla filling the gap to 250, or filling the gap below at 250 area? Yeah, let's see where this would end up being. I could see Tesla, honestly, a lot of people are going to give me shit, but you're talking about this gap right here at 250. I can totally see that happening, and I wouldn't be surprised if the market rolls over the way I think the market will in the next 6 to 12 months. I think we could see Tesla back down at 200. Doesn't mean Tesla's a bad company. Doesn't mean necessarily Tesla's overpriced. It just means that if the market continues to drop, if we continue to see Fed raising rates, which they need to, if we continue to see inflation going up, which we saw again last quarter, if we see earnings for the entire market go down and the whole market drops, it's going to pull Tesla with it. So I do think Tesla could fill that gap to 250. I mean, am I taking a position? No. You know, I don't have like 1 year outputs, but if we did see Tesla run back to like 350, 400, I would get really long puts. Q3 delivery numbers are coming out soon. That's very true. It could have a huge impact. Let me see. Long term, yeah, just definitely hold long term if you're somebody who wants to play long term. Meta platforms. Let's take a look at Meta. I mean, Meta is one of those companies, I don't want to say it's like a value trap anymore, but every single time I look at Meta, I'm like, fuck, man, this thing is at a really, really solid valuation. But I also do that with Intel and everything too. So, I mean, Meta is at a really, really solid price. The issue is that if we were to snap this level coming up, like if the market were to roll over, if the market were to drop back down to 350, then we could see a move back down to 121, maybe even $100. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I think that if you're looking to trade Meta, getting in here, taking profits at 168 and setting a stop around 140 is not a bad idea. No way at 200. I mean, I'm not saying for sure that Tesla's definitely going to hit 200, but like last time when Tesla was trading up around what would have been $900, and we were talking about this massive 200 SMA, I was saying that Tesla could end up going to like 500 or 600, and that ended up happening. So I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen. I don't have puts on, I do have puts on Tesla, but they're not for like the next 6 to 12 months. But trust me, if the market goes into panic mode, not saying Tesla's not a strong company, but it will definitely pull Tesla down with it. Hopefully not. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, even looking here, even looking at this Fibonacci retracement, if we don't break out over 310, it's all about this level. If we can push over 310, this is going to easily rally back up into 340, 360, 380. Because I don't have my volume profile out, but if I had a volume profile out right now, you would see no volume from 311 to 360. There's very little volume. If we can break through and hold over like 312, 313, 315, we could get a massive rally. If we don't and we reject, a pullback down to 250, right? A pullback down to 250 is just to the Fibonacci retracement level. So it's not massive. It's not like I'm saying Tesla's going to go down to like $100, but still. And I do agree that if Tesla got down to 200, I'd be buying the living shit out of it. I would, if Tesla can snap 240, I'm going to start selling about maybe $200,000 worth of cash secured puts at 209. So this way I can average out my position. Maybe $100,000 worth at 209. And the beautiful thing is, if any of you guys sell cash secured puts, the fact that we had a split again is a huge deal, because you can trade and sell cash secured puts on a smaller account. You know what I mean? But we'll see what happens. Hopefully it drops so I can get in at a better price long term, but we'll see where things go. But yeah, Meta doesn't look good, or doesn't look bad. But if we snap those key levels, that's what I'd be watching. Charge point. So charge point, let me update my fib here. Charge point is potentially a solid run up if we can get this move and hold over this level. The fact that we couldn't hold over 20 is an issue. I remember we were talking about this not too long ago on this weekly chart, but looking at the weekly, we have this massive downward trend And the one thing to note is that every single time we try to push over this trend line or this resistance, we're unable to do so. And this is one thing that I try to say to a lot of you guys, is that you have to wait for confirmation on levels. Especially if you're part of the premium group. Like, a lot of people are like, hey, why are you not taking profits, or why are you not setting a stop loss if we break under a level? Market makers know that. It's all a trap. They know how to push a stock over a level, get you to get in or out, and then from there drive the stock back down. Like, if we just go through and circle, last time charge point broke up over this resistance point, I'm going to make this a little bit easier to see. Last time it broke over this resistance point in July, we looked like we were going to break out, and then it got slapped right back down. Time after that, on November 14th of 2021, looked like we were going to push through, rejected. Once again, here in April of this year, looked like we were going to push up, ended up rejecting. Now, one major difference that has happened so far is that we have broken over and we have held here. So charge point is really looking for a push and a hold over 20. If that could happen, that's where we could see charge point move back up to like 28, 29. Looking at a smaller time frame, if you entered down here at like 1650, 16 range, that could be pretty good. But you're really looking for a holding over $19. That's what you really want to see. Let me see. Meta, we already talked about that. Charge point, talked about that. Tesla strong, I agree. If I want to hold it till 2030, should I buy now? Yeah, I mean, if you want to, like, here's the thing. I'm all about, make sure you guys hit the like button too. It'll really help get this video out. There's 170 people watching, 61 likes. The thing is that time is the great equalizer for all investors, right? If you plan, and this is why I always say to you guys, right? What's long-term to you? Okay, it's a very important question, because you guys, a lot of people get this shit mixed up, where they hear the building blocks of investing, which is very important, but they hear things like buy and hold, buy and hold. If you have it long-term, it doesn't really matter. If you're buying long-term, it doesn't really matter. That's not the case, right? Like, there's a lot of people who bought Moderna, and I'm not saying this is a bad move, but there's a lot of people who bought Moderna up at 450. There's a lot of people who bought Peloton up at 160. And I'm not saying that these companies aren't going to ever recover, and I'm not saying that they weren't extremely overvalued at the time, but it's like, if you're only going to hold a long-term investment for 2, 4, 5 years, and we're heading into a bear market, then yeah, like, you should be timing your buys. But if you're planning to hold 10, 20, 30 years, yeah, dude, you're fine, Top Hong. Like, you're good, dude. Just hold it. Just buy it and hold it. If you think that the valuation is correct. That's what I should say. So even if the Tesla has great earnings, but the market is bad, you still think it could pull Tesla down? Yes, for sure. Because what's going to end up happening, like, there is a rare occasion, but here's what happens during uncertainty, right? The market hates uncertainty. This is one thing you have to realize. The reason that COVID destroyed the market, yes, was because it was disrupting supply chains. The country couldn't go to work. But the biggest thing was the uncertainty. Like, how bad is this thing going to be? That's where all the panic set in. And then as the market started to recover, we started to bring certainty back into the market. We noticed that the biggest companies in the world, Apple, Amazon, Tesla, all these, they're doing just fine during government shutdowns and during COVID. So it removed uncertainty. When you look at, and this is why we saw a big drop on Friday in the market overall, was because we believed that inflation peaked. Because inflation numbers last month, before the one that came out on last week, inflation numbers that came out the month prior showed that we peaked at, like, I think 9.1 in June. So when July numbers came out, so when July numbers came out below that, yes, they were still high, but it was not as high as the prior month, so it looked like inflation had peaked. That's why we had this massive recovery here, because it looked like inflation numbers were high, it looked like they were going to continue to drop, and that we had seen the worst. But then on Friday, when the market continued to drop, and last week when we saw inflation numbers come out and CPI data come out, showing that even though it was up, 0.01%, And if you remove some things, it was up 0.06%. It shows that we haven't peaked yet. So this is where it starts to ride uncertainty in the market, where people are like, wait. So we didn't peak. What if inflation numbers come in even higher for September? And so as we have uncertainty, that's what's going to drive the market down. That's what's going to, kill, even if, and this is the beautiful thing too. This is one thing I want you guys to understand. Let's say Tesla puts insane numbers out, but the market continues to drop and there's a ton of uncertainty and the market dies. Yes, it will bring Tesla down, but that's a good thing. That's how you find crazy deals. When a market is like, when a company is doing so well, it's ran by great people, the balance sheet is great, the income statement's great, and the stock is significantly undervalued because there's uncertainty in the market, and they end up, the market pulls the stock down. But yeah, if you're buying long term, you're good, dude. Don't worry. Just make sure it's a long, like actually long term, like 10 years plus, and you don't need that money. Guys throwing around numbers. I could only dream of 200K one day, man. I mean, you have to realize this, Nicholas. Like, I'm 34. I've been doing this for like 8 years, and 200 grand is a lot of money. Like, I'm not saying it's not. It's a fuckload of money. But like, it all becomes relative. Like, I remember my goal was to make $5 a day. Like, that was my goal. But I mean, dude, you just keep sticking at it. You continue to do it. And I'm not just saying trading in general will make you 200 grand. I'm the hugest proponent, if you guys have been following me for a while, to tell you, like, trading will not make you a millionaire, most likely, or at least $1 million income a year. There's no way. There are some people that do it, but I feel that properly trading, you can make, depending upon the amount of capital you have, close to like 100 grand a year. I look for like 42,000, 42%, which if you have 100 grand, it's like 42,000, which is not crazy for a lot of people. But I'm a huge proponent of trying to explain to people, like, you're not going to make a fucking $1 million a year trading unless you have about $10 million, maybe even 5 or 6. Because once you get into those numbers, I'd rather be selling cash secured puts, and then liquidity becomes an issue as well. Appreciate your daily videos. Thank you so much, dude. You have a look at Shop. Let's look, Mermaid. Let's take a look at Shopify. So Shopify's in this weird spot right now. Down massive. This is another one of those companies. Like, imagine if you bought Shopify at 174 and you're like, I'm buying long term. The thing is down massive. It's not like it's a bad thing. But it's starting to really look good. From a longer term standpoint, like the next couple of years as an investment, this thing's looking pretty solid. From a trading perspective, this shit has just been sitting here since April, right? Since April, we've had highs of like $40.48, lows of around $30, and we've just been sitting within this range. Now, technically, this would be a bearish sign. When you have a massive fade followed by consolidation, and then and then it's looking like we have a massive fade again. But, entering around 30, setting a stop around 27, taking profits up around 41, 42, 43. Not bad, but if we snap $30, Shopify is going to drop back down to $15, $16, which is just fucking crazy. But from a long-term investing standpoint, I don't think it's a bad idea. From a trading standpoint, I don't really like it because there's just not a lot of movement, not a lot of volume. The way I would play this and the way I have been playing this is just selling cash secured puts on it. I'll average down at 270. Good shit, AR. How do you feel about selling a cash secured put on Costco for this week? I don't think it's bad. Like, Costco is a very, very safe stock. It's looking like we could drop down to like the 480s. My biggest issue is when I'm selling a cash secured put, I'm looking for high implied volatility stocks, because with a high implied volatility stock, I'm going to get more money out of my trade. That means premiums are going to be higher, means theta is going to be higher. The Greeks are just going to be more in my favor. But it looks like it's probably going to drop to 480. So I'd honestly just kind of wait. Maybe it can drop to 480 and you can sell some like 475s or 470s. Personally. Let me see. My Rumble shares are looking good. Yeah, Rumble has been doing pretty good. Wait, is this Rumble? RMBL? Is this the Rumble? I think it is. Like Rumble social media. I think that's it. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I know it ripped at one point because Andrew Tate went over there. And it was up a lot. And they also had earnings where this thing ripped too. I don't know if this is the same stock. But if so, good support at $20. RUM. Jesus Christ. This is Rumble? Like Rumble, like I guess the social media company. Yeah, I don't know anything about the company from a long-term investing standpoint, but personally, I would definitely be taking some profits here if you're trading. Or if you're looking to just hold it, you can do it up. But there's last time we hit this price and last time we hit this high, this thing ran all the way up in a single day from lows of 1340 back up to 18 and then rejected. So 2 times now the thing has ripped, pulled back, ripped, pulled back. This time I'd assume it's going to pull back. To be quite honest, I might short this. I don't want to short this, but I hate shorting shit. But this is like a pretty good sign of a short. But I don't know what pushed it through. So for me, I probably wouldn't take it. I would probably just take the profits. Or at least sell half. Like if you got in this morning at 12 or something, sell half. To pull a little bit off the table. You know what I mean? Long term for me, not retiring for another 12 years. Let's do it up. 22, all deserved, bro. Dude, 22, Nicholas. You got the world by the balls, dude. You got the world by the balls. 22, I was doing some terrible shit, man. Do it up. Good stuff. Let me see. Thanks for what you do. Netflix looks like 242, 244 is a major resistance. What's your input? Let's take a look at Netflix. Yeah, Netflix, let me get rid of all this shit. Yeah, Netflix has a good resistance point. Let's go draw this pivot out here. So Netflix has this resistance right around like that 244 range like you're talking about, 250 as well. If this thing can push through this, we're definitely filling the gap up to 324. I just don't see that happening until earnings, so you would end up probably taking an earnings gamble. But if we can push through that and get some volume behind it, it's a good sign. How low can we see Mara going? Currently head and shoulders in play on the 4 hour. Man, Mara is just beaten up. There's a lot of volume down here, but $5, like 520, 530 is that support range where this fib level is. And if you look on the weekly, we're unable to hold the 200 SMA. It looks like Mara is going to drop to 510. Most likely. Bought puts for SPY 380 at 925. Or 928, I'm sorry. Alright, so 920 is not bad. I think that's next Wednesday, right? I don't think that's a bad move. Just make sure it's... I think the market's probably going to drop tomorrow. But maybe we could push up to like 390 before we reject. The only thing that worries me, Howard, is that they expire very quickly. Make sure it's a small amount of your account. And I would assume that if we wake up tomorrow and the market's up massive or we rip, that you're going to end up losing all of that, and make sure you're okay with that. That's the biggest thing. It's the biggest thing. Nicholas, where'd you get your interest of investing start? What age? What did you do before? Obviously, you don't have to answer if it's too private, dude. No, it's all good. Give me 1 second. I have an important phone call. Give me 1 second. Hang on. Sorry. All right, I told him I was on a live stream. Yeah, so my interest for investing start. What age? I was 25? Like 25, but I really didn't start like trading until I was like 26. What did you do before this? I was a criminal. I sold weed. That's what I did. Yeah, so my investing journey started because I went to prison. I was in prison for like 9 months for marijuana. It's really messed up, but I knew at like a very young age, I couldn't have like a normal job. And I didn't want to. Like, I didn't get into anything I've ever done for money. I've gotten into everything I've ever done for freedom and to build a life and a lifestyle that I was like happy with. And so I got mixed up with, I was in a band for a very long time. I got mixed up with some wrong people. I was selling marijuana. And so that's spreading love, not drug dealing. That's right, Jay. Now, so I was selling marijuana at the time, and I got 2 DUIs for marijuana. I wasn't even high. I had 2 roaches in the car. That was it. Um, and I had a friend who was coming out of a halfway house, and he was like, "Hey man, I need a place to stay." I hadn't talked to him in years. He's like, "I need a place to stay. Like I got in trouble, and the court's not gonna let me leave unless I have somebody I can live with coming out of this halfway house." And I was like, "All right, dude." I was like, like I'll help you out. Like just come live with me. Like I'm chilling." And you have to realize too, like at the time, all I wanted was just to sell weed to my friends. I wasn't like a high-end drug dealer. I was just selling weed to like my 10 or 15 friends I'd hang out with in the music scene that I was in. Like if someone needed weed, I'm like, I might as well just sell it. Um, and then my friend, I told him like, "Listen, dude, don't steal and don't do heroin." He did both. So he ended up doing heroin, ended up stealing from me. I kicked him out. He called the cops, told him I was selling pounds and pounds of marijuana. And then they searched my trash, found probable cause, and it was really easy for them to like get a warrant because I was already a criminal for marijuana before. So they raided my house, found 14 grams of marijuana, not much at all, just 14 grams of marijuana. And it was in 14 different bags. So I was like, I was screwed because I also had 2 DUIs before that I was on probation for. So I was just screwed. I sat in prison for 9 months. I couldn't pay my bail. I fought like I ended up just getting a felony. That was it. And I got time served. And I remember talking to my lawyer, and he was like, "Dude, like you can," so basically they had like no real warrant. I never saw the warrant. And my lawyer was like, "Listen, man, you either have to fight this, which I think you can win, but the district attorney told me he was going to make an example out of me, and they were pushing for like 5 years in prison max. They charged me with like, when I look back, they were trying to strong arm me because I worked with a lawyer afterwards, funny enough, which is where I got into investing. I'll talk about that in a minute. But they really were trying to strong arm me because they knew that what they did was fucked up. They raided the house with like seriously flashbang my front door. Even though the door was open, they rammed it, threw a flashbang in, like guns drawn and everything. And it was like, it looked like a heroin raid in like some movie you've seen. And it was 14 grams of weed. And they knew they had fucked up. So they were really trying to push back on me hard to really just focus on making me look terrible. And so I was scared at the time. I had been in prison for 9 months, and I was like, "Dude, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, this is fucked." I was like, "I'll be a felon. I don't plan to have a normal job anyway. Fuck it." Like, I didn't want to. But when I was in prison, all I had to do was just read, just time to read and time to think. And going back to your question of like, what made me start investing? Like, I was really thinking to myself, like, how do wealthy people get wealthy? Right? Not small wealth, like true wealth, right? And I realized that it was all through leverage. And this is something that's really massive that you guys need to understand. Like, wealthy people make money not from renting their time. Wealthy people make money by leverage. And at the time, I was like, well, people who have money can make more money. And I was like, I just need to start doing leveraging activities. And so when I say leverage, it's like this, right? I was trading for a while. I was really happy with trading. And during the pandemic, everyone was like, "How are you trading? What are you trading? How are you doing this?" And I made a free course and I gave it out, and 50 people signed up. And they're like, "Dude, you should be charging for this." And I was like, "All right, I'll charge like $50 or $30 a month at the time." And that's when I started my Discord. I started my YouTube channel. And what I had realized was this is leverage. Right? If I post a video, that video might get 5 or 10,000 views, and I'm only making one video. If I do a live stream, right? Like, I could be talking to one of you right now, but I'm talking to 166 people. So I only do leveraged activities, and I started investing just because I was like, how are people making money? Like, I always knew that the school system was fucked, and I always knew that, like, I went to school for business, and I remember just like thinking, like, dude, my business teacher has no fucking clue how to run a business. Like, why would I take advice from someone, and this is no disrespect to anybody, but like, why would I take business advice from somebody who like makes 50 grand a year teaching me about business, and he's never ran a business, he's never owned a business, he's never ran a business, he's never had employees, he's never managed employees, he's never had client relations, he's never had clients. Like, why the fuck would I take it? Why would I take advice from him? So when I got out of prison, I started my own school. Like I bought a ton of books. I would take courses, and I would spend 3-4 hours a day learning only stuff I wanted to learn. And then I started just networking. I would go to very high end coffee shops in very rich, affluent areas within like my area. Like I drive 30-40 minutes to a coffee shop out in a high, like, affluent area. And I would just sit there and I would trade stocks all day. And inherently doing that, people would come up to me, people who knew what investing were and could instantly see that and be like, what are you doing? Like, how are you doing this? And that's how I met a lot of my clients. And I met a lawyer who I ended up working with for a couple of years, actually. But that's how it all started. Like, it just through prison, through a shitty circumstances. Thank you for the super chat, dudes. Holy shit. Thank you, Mike. And thank you, Nicholas. Thanks for the encouraging words. Crazy story, crazy U-turn with your life. All the best. Greetings from Germany. What's up, brother? Dude, thank you so much. When I come to Germany sometime, we'll definitely chill. But yeah, like, I think the biggest thing when it comes to like investing in your journey and trading is like, it's just starting, right? Like, just starting. And like understanding the process and understanding, and this is the biggest thing that happened with trading. It's the biggest thing that happened with life. If you do not give up on something, you will get good at it and you will eventually be paid for it, right? A lot of people don't get that, and they hear 95% of traders fail. But like, what is a trader? Okay, statistically, a trader is somebody who opens up a broker account. It doesn't take much to open a broker account. You fucking download Robinhood, you put your social security number in, you put $100 in, and then you blow that to smithereens. That's a trader. But if you're somebody who opens up a broker account, realizes this is something that you want to do with your life, you find the right mentor, you find the right group, you paper trade for a year, then you start with a very, very small amount of money, you build a system, you back test that system, you continue to learn, use proper risk management. Like, if you do all of that shit consistently, guys, you will end up making money. You will end up being good at it. Like, it's the same thing with YouTube. I did YouTube for like a year and a half before I even had 10,000 subscribers, right? It's just part of the group. It's just part of the deal. So if you really want to get good at something, you just fucking do it, and you continue to do it, and you continue to learn, and you love learning it. That's the thing. You have to love learning it. Can you explain selling cash secured puts if you're bearish? If you're going to be bearish, you want to do a covered call, and you never want to do a naked covered call. So let's say you own 100 shares of SPY. You would sell a 390 covered call. That means that they would take your 100 shares of SPY as collateral. And if it closed over 390, you would have to sell your shares and you keep the premium. If not, then you keep the premium, and wherever SPY goes, even if it sits sideways or goes down, as long as it closes below 390, you profit. I have a couple videos on them I can post too. AOK Productions. This is resonating really hard with me right now. I'm 24, almost 25 in the music scene, and used to grow in Cali legally. Dude, that's dope, man. Yeah, I've been obsessed with music for so long. It's something I'll go back to at some point. My goal was, if I wasn't like making serious money as a guitar player in a band by 25, I would quit. And I did. I walked away. I just couldn't find people who would take it as seriously as I would. I was always motivated. I just never had the right vehicle to motivate me, right? And I've been very big on like building a life for myself the way that I want. And we'll talk about this because I see somebody asking me about my monthly expenses. That's a really good question. But like, I've always rather just live a smaller, less extravagant life, but just like be happy. Like, just be fucking happy, man. And I think happiness is something a lot of people have problems with. But I don't need a ton of shit. Like, I just want to be happy. So I want to be myself. I want to get paid being myself and being the best person I can be, you know. He has risen. Pete, Jeremy Financial Education, and Meet Kevin saying FUBO will go 100x in the coming years. What do you think? I have to look into the company more long term. I can't comment on that. I'm not gonna shit talk anyone, but there has been quite like I don't this is not 100%, but I have seen things where some YouTubers get shares from the company to push the company on YouTube. And I'm not saying that they're any of them. I don't see Fubo being 100x, but I don't really know shit about the company. I'd have to do a deep dive and look at it. I know it's a streaming network. That's all I know. Barely just got into stocks 3.5 months ago. A-okay, dude, just enjoy the ride, man. Just enjoy the ride. If you've been trading for less than 2 years, your goal is to not lose your ass. That's your goal. Your goal is to learn as much as you humanly can. Humanly can. Right? You really have to just practice on learning. It's like playing guitar or being a professional basketball player. Like I think the issue, and I've said this a lot, and anytime somebody comes into like my premium group, I try to always like give them realistic expectations. But people think, oh, I can just get into trading and I'll make a ton of money. Like, that's not realistic. If you wanted to be a professional guitar player, you think you could do it in 6 months? Fuck no. It's gonna take like 2.5 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years. Like, you have to have realistic expectations. A lot of people will like download black box stocks, which is like a software I use. Holy fuck, QQQ is ripping. Which is a software that I use, and they'll be like, oh, this is amazing. Like, how come everyone doesn't use this? And I'm like, well, you have to realize here, like, if it worked to that extent, everyone would be millionaires. So you have to have a really, really good outlook. It's looking like SPY might actually, or QQQ might end up closing at 389, 388 today. But you have to have a good outlook, and you have to be really, really honest with what your expectations are. Top Hong, thank you for sharing your story. I love you, bro. Love you too, dude. Thank you so much. Just bought a 10K Tesla, planning to hold it till 2030. Good shit, man. We'll grab a drink in 2030 when it's worth a shitload. Chef Mike, have 2 QQQ puts, October 22nd, 282 strike, down 140, trade before Wednesday. Yeah, so let me see these numbers. 282 strike. Wait, you have QQQ puts 282 strike? Is that right, Chef Mike? A 282 strike? Oh, I'm sorry, dude. Okay, that's not that crazy. I'm looking at fucking SPY. I'm like, why the fuck is QQQ up there? Okay, never mind. 282 is not bad. It's pretty far out of the money. It's like a 3% drop. Let's see what the theta is. QQQ. October 22nd. Puts single QQQ. Are you sure it's not the 21st? Mike? I think it's the 21st. A 282 puts for $703. IV is 32, which is not bad. Good volume. It says October 22nd. Is it for next year? Why do I not have a 22nd strike? I have a 21st of October, a 24th of October, a 28th of October. 32 days. Yeah, I have 32 days is October 21st for me. Are you in a different country, maybe? I don't know. Mine says, yeah, 32 days would be October 21st. That's what it says for Webull. I don't know. I'm in E-Trade, has October 3rd, 7th, 12th, 14th. I'm in the US. What the fuck? What day is the 22nd? 22nd's a Thursday. That's really weird. It shouldn't be the 22nd because the contracts don't expire on Thursdays. It should be the 19th, the 21st, and the 23rd. Yeah, I have 19th, 21st, 23rd. I don't know. I don't know what time zone you're in. I don't know why it says that. 22nd is a Saturday, yeah. Oh, the October 22nd would still be a Thursday. That's weird. All right, so it's the 21st. I don't know why they're different, though. Next one's the 20th East Coast. Dude, I'm on the East Coast, too. What the fuck? Dude, what? Still, all right, 282. It would be around the same. Theta is pretty high, 0.61. Or 0.16. All right, so here, my question would be this, Mike. if you lost all of that money, how negatively would it impact your portfolio? If it's more than like 5% of your portfolio, I would probably roll it. Um, like personally, I would be looking at the 21st, but I would be looking to roll it to a 290 because your theta is a little bit better and the volume is pretty fucking high. Small compared to it. You could keep it, but I think the safest thing would be to sell it and roll it to a 290. Because I do think ultimately we will hit 282, 283 within the next couple of weeks, months. So I don't think it's bad. But if it's small compared to your portfolio, like I never risk more than 5% of my portfolio. Most of the time it's 2%. Same date. Yeah, I would probably go same date, 21st. Same date. Let me see. What do you do for entertainment? Your thoughts on monthly expenses, dude. I'm a nerd, bro. I'm a nerd. So my monthly expenses are really, really cheap. My bills are like 1,100 a month max. I bought this house last year, no, 2 years ago. My mortgage is super cheap. I have close to 100 grand in equity over the past year. I did a lot of work to the place. My mortgage is super cheap. I own my car. It's a 2022 Camry. I paid it like within 6 months, but if not, my car payment would be like 500 a month. In total though, like I spend about 2,500 a month on my bills, which is about it. But I have no kids. As far as what do I do for fun, I go out to eat. I'm a super nerd. I play Warhammer, so I buy these like, I don't know if you ever seen like Henry Cavill, so I buy these like little fucking figurines and paint them and shit. Um, Go to shows, fucking eat a lot, drink good whiskey. I don't spend a lot of money though. Like I do like nice things, and as I get older, I want to own more higher quality things. I've been throwing a lot of shit out and donating a lot of shit over the past couple of years, but there's a huge trap that happens when you start to make money, right? Um, it's it's actually really weird, but I've noticed, and this is what I don't want to get into anything that's gonna like demonetize me, but I was listening to somebody yesterday on a very intriguing podcast that Valuetainment did, and it was really crazy because the person said that fine, I'm just gonna say it. So I was listening to Valuetainment and they had Andrew Tate on like 2 days ago. I think it was like 2 or 3 days ago. And he said one thing on it that actually like blew my fucking mind because I've been really wondering to myself why I was unhappy for a bit. Because guys, when I had nothing, when I was poor as fuck, like I'm talking about, I was eating condiment sandwiches. I would go to Wawa, I would steal a roll, and then I would put condiments on it and eat it. That was my daily food. I was so fucking happy, man. Like I was so happy playing music, being broke as fuck. And he said, which was really crazy but resonated with me, he said, you are only free when you are completely broke and poor, or when you have so much money that it doesn't fucking matter. And I realized that like that resonated with me. Like I try to live as like low maintenance as humanly possible because I don't want to get in that game of what kind of car is my neighbor driving, or my friend got a new car and I want this, or like my friend got a Rolex, or my friend got this, or I want the newest piece of technology, or like my friend, like I don't want any of that shit, man. Like I don't need that. I'm very big into building your own world and building your own space and being happy. And this is why like I tell everyone who's like in my premium group for Discord, like I don't trade a lot. I want to build a life where like I'm not worried, I'm not buying a ton of shit, I'm not putting myself in debt. I don't want to have like a car payment that's 1,200 a month. Like I make really fucking good money and I'm very happy about it. But it's like you want to play the offense, guys. Like you want to play offense. You don't want to play defense. Right? I try to live off of about 10%, 5% of my income, and I sack the rest away for investing. But I do force myself to spend some money on some fun shit. Like I bought a resin 3D printer recently. It was pretty pretty pricey, like one of the higher end ones, and I'm learning how to do that because that's something that I like. I like learning new shit. So sometimes I'll buy something and I get into a new hobby just to like learn it. But the biggest thing I could say is like live below your means and play aggressive. Play very, very aggressively. And it will allow you to get yourself into some situations that you might not have been in before. I might buy a fucking donut shop. There's a there's this like donut shop down the street from me that's been here forever. Makes phenomenal donuts, and the owner is selling the land, selling the business, and so I'm gonna sit down with them next week, go over the numbers, meet everyone who runs the place. The owner is like very old and they want to get rid of it, and I might buy a donut shop for fun. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think it'd be funny, but yeah, my bills are like super cheap. The biggest thing I spend money on is food. Like some months I'll spend like $2,000 just eating, because for me, like I know this is gonna sound ridiculous and like super first world problems, and if I would have heard myself say this shit like 5 years ago, I would have slapped myself in the face. But food is one of those things I don't ever want to cook again. I really don't. The whole like worrying, what am I going to eat? What ingredients do I have? Taking time away from my life to go cook food. Like I just hate it. So I'm looking to hire a personal chef right now, to just come in, like not always be here, but come in, like do some meal prepping, cook my food and leave it here. So I never have to worry. Cause I hate cooking so much. So it's so annoying. What music do you play? Right now, I just have an acoustic guitar, and I bought a Fender American Strat like a couple of months ago. I haven't played too much, but I play everything. I love music in general. I'm thinking about like downloading, after I get done with this resin printer thing, I'm thinking about downloading like Ableton or FL Studio or something and just like making some EDM music. But like I play everything. I'll still play death metal. I'll go into like drop C, drop D tuning, fuck around there, and then sometimes I'll just play anything. The dude has been looking at Jeremy's videos on Fubo and now believes it'll be 100. Yeah, I don't know if it'll be 100%, but we'll see. I don't like shit talking to other YouTubers, because I know what it's like. Being a YouTuber is not fucking easy, and sometimes it's not fun. But we'll see what happens. Solving the money problem. Seems like he's going all hype on Tesla. What tool do you use to analyze stocks? This is banging. This is a good one, Will. Sounds like you need a wife. Yeah, I have a girlfriend I've been with for 6 years, so I do have a wife. I'm just not getting married because I believe that I just don't want the government involved in my life right now. That's the biggest thing. But yeah, so for me, analyzing trades and stuff, it's really, really weird. Everyone has different ways that they analyze investments. I use Everything Money. I'm not a huge fan of their YouTube channel, but I use this company, and they have a really good stock analyzing tool that you can use. It's pretty fun. If not, you can just figure out the book value. I can do an entire video if you want on the book value. But when you're looking at shit like Fubo, for instance, a company that I'm pretty sure loses a ton of money. I have to check. But basically, when you're looking at a company that like is losing money, or a potential growth company like that, it's really hard to analyze because you have to understand, like, it's all based on hopefulness, right? It's all based on hopefulness. It's all based on like, hopefully this company can do this. Like they're losing 500 million a year. There's no PE, no 5-year PE. Profit margins are negative 55%. 5-year profit margin is negative 95%. Gross profit margin is negative 5%. Price to sales is 1. So you kind of can't analyze this from a book value standpoint. You have to just look at how the company makes money, look at the executives in place, look at the competition, and see if this company has an edge. So it's very hard to do so, in my opinion, which is why I don't invest in a lot of tech company, or a lot of companies that lose money. I try to invest in companies that I know, looking at just the financial history and where the company is going financially, that it's a smart move. That's what I look for. But I like using Everything Money. I think it's like $30 a month. It's not bad. But you can really just do the math on your own. I can show you guys in another video. How long do you need to wait to dollar cost average? Got a night stocking job and dump all the stocks I can into. Like, if you're truly going to DCA every month, and if you're really going to DCA, guys, You have to do it every single month, no matter where the fuck the market is. If the market's up at tippy tips, if the market's all the way down at the bottom, if you're really going to dollar cost average, you just do it forever. And if you're really going to dollar cost average and you want nothing to, not you want nothing to do with the market, but you're working overnight, just dollar cost average in the SPY or sell cash secured puts. It's the best way to do it. It's nice for you being so open about your life. Thank you, Richard. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to be closed off. Like my thought is, one, if I were to ever get massive, I don't want to hide anything. Like, I want you guys to always know. And number two, the real reason I'm so open about my life is, like, I want you guys to realize how close we are, right? I would always listen to people on YouTube, and, like, let's just use Grant Cardone. I'm not going to condone him or say he's good or bad, but, like, you would listen to a Grant Cardone video on, like, how to fucking turn your life around. And you're like, bro, we have nothing in common. Like, you're worth $300 million. You have 100 employees. You do all this shit. You're flying on private jets. You're making, hundreds of thousands of dollars a day. Like, whatever it is, right? Whatever. Like, that person is so far away from where you are and where I are or where I am, that it doesn't really hit the same. Right? It's nice to look at and be like, I want his life, but I want to be there where it's like, I might only be a couple of steps ahead of you guys. Right? And to know someone who's a couple of steps ahead of you is huge. One of the things that changed my life was realizing, it sounds ridiculous and kind of mean, like, how some rich people are what I would consider, like, incompetent. Like, I would meet people who had a lot of money and I'm like, wow, they don't speak in perfect, I don't even know what the fuck it'd be. Like, they can barely write a sentence in perfect grammar. Like, they can't really spell. Like, they don't sound intelligent. And it's like, money doesn't care about intelligence. Money doesn't give a fuck about intelligence. I know a lot of intelligent people who are broke as fuck. And I know a lot of people like myself who are really not that intelligent traditionally, who do really well for themselves. So I try to be open to let you guys know, like, yo, I'm not that far along to where you guys are. And and hopefully that can resonate with you. Do you know why Neo is trending? I think it has a very similar story. Do you know Neo trending? I think he has, no, I don't know Neo trending. Is that like a YouTuber? Neo trending. Oh, this dude. No, I don't. Maybe I'll watch his videos. I don't. Yeah, I don't really pay attention to the YouTube space either. YouTube is fun. I like helping people, and that's my means of helping people. But I try to not get trapped into the YouTube thing, because YouTube, guys, I'm gonna be honest, YouTube becomes a prison. Really does. It becomes a prison. After a while, you can only talk about certain things. Certain videos will not get pushed. I end up making Tesla videos every day because that's what everyone wants to see. That's completely fine. But yeah, it becomes an issue. And I see it happen a lot too. Like, as a YouTuber, there are keywords. There are why YouTube channels are all about Neo or all about Tesla, right? Because those are the main ones that trend. Like, I'll show you right now, look. So if you're going to make a YouTube video, you come up here and you go to Keyword Inspector, and we're just going to type in Tesla stock. So Tesla stock is a phenomenal keyword to hit, which is why I hit it every day. Search volume, 483,000. Competition is very low, which means there's not a ton of competition out there. The overall score is 81, right? It's a very, very good thing to hit. Tesla or Neo stock is another one. 107,000 search volume, very low competition, 80 score. This is why you see so many people making videos on that. If I type in like CHPT stock, this is not as much. You're getting 2,000 search volume, very low competition, overall score is 71, right? And that's why I want to make, like, I see William saying, like, instructional videos. If I type in like options delta, the score is going to be shit, 57, because people just aren't looking for it. So it's this weird thing where, like, I want to make the videos I want to make because I feel that those videos help you guys the most, but, like, you kind of have to use keywords to get recognized on YouTube, which sucks, but that's how it works. So yeah, that's why so many YouTubers talk about Tesla and all that stuff too. So yeah, I was gonna say something else I completely forget too. I don't remember. Let's see. New video, let's go. I'm scared to pull Discord prim. Oh, some crazy thing wires here. Why is QQ up 2 days before the Fed? Is that bullish to have a 0.75% increase? It's pretty bullish, but I mean, we're going into this resistance on triple Q and on SPY. We're coming up on this resistance up around 390. So this is that area we would be rejecting on SPY. Let me see. How big can you see Tesla as a company? Could it be number one, bigger than Apple? Yeah, I mean, it totally could, and it just depends on where the company goes itself, in the future. Like, it's not going to be just a car company. Yes, 85% of the revenue comes from cars, but yeah, I do think it could be massive. And it is massive, and I think it'll be even huge, even bigger. I'll probably buy a Tesla sometime soon, just because I make every Tesla video. Every video is a Tesla video. I should buy a Tesla. Maybe that's one thing I'll treat myself to. Let's see. Your new instructional videos are sick. Great to learn. Thank you so much. Yeah, I want to continue to do more of those. Guess it would have to be paywall content? No, I'm not paywall content. I would just make it, and if it doesn't get views, I don't care. To be quite honest, I don't really give a shit about views anymore. I used to really try to push views. I used to try to put a ton of videos out, and I really don't care. I care more about the longevity of the content and the longevity of my time on this space. You know, I want to be doing this in 15 years. If I can't do something for the rest of my life, I don't do it. Which is why I stopped putting 5-6 videos a day out. Because I can't do that forever. You know, but doing 1 or 2 a day, I can do forever. And that's why I do that. As soon as I got into trading, you just started doing live. Seems like fate. You're awesome, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, okay, dude. Yeah, that's why I like doing these. I really like doing these a lot. They don't get a ton of views, but I don't give a shit. I like doing them. They really help. What's up, Oscar? Hope you're having a good day. Did you see the Uber news today? No, I did not. Order your Cybertruck plus the 75. Yeah, so that's my thing. That's why I haven't bought a Tesla, because I got the pre-order on a Cybertruck, and I don't know how it's probably won't even. I probably won't get it till 2025 with like how this is looking, but we'll see what happens. One more question: how long before Tesla could be number one? I mean, that's a loaded question. It really just depends on how things go. It's going to depend on how other car manufacturers catch up. It's going to depend on a lot of things. But looking at the next 10 to 20 years for Tesla, I think shit's going to be amazing. The company is in just a crazy, crazy place right now. Demand is absolutely insane. They're buying cars back just to get parts to fix them. Yeah, it's just, it's a phenomenal company, and I want to buy a Tesla. I've been holding off for a bit. I might just do it. They'll give $1 per trip in zero emissions vehicles, and they want to have EV users only by 2025. That would be amazing. Yeah, if you do Uber, having a Tesla is a really solid idea. Tesla's pumping. Probably have to cut my puts. Tesla's back up here again, though. So we have rejected here before. Inverse head and shoulders, though, on the 1 hour. So it's looking like Tesla could break out here. Got a shoulder. Head. And a shoulder. And we'll see what happens. Biggest thing, though, to always remember, guys, I say this a lot, but it's like when you're trading, you're not trading to be right or to be wrong. You're just trading what's there, and whatever happens, happens. It's like the biggest thing. How about Apple? Let's look at Apple. I still think Apple is probably going to get down to the 120s, maybe 129. We are testing this range back up here. So we are at fib resistance here at like 155. Basically, we reclaim this from Thursday, Friday. If we do reject here at 155, I do think we'll see them move to 145, 140, 135. If we push through and we're able to get through 160, that's where we can see that rally back up. But a lot of stuff is on resistances. Like Tesla is up on resistance. Apple is up on resistance. SPY is up on resistance. I haven't looked. I don't think Meta's up on resistance. Meta's not. Microsoft, I think, is up on resistance too. Microsoft's on support. So we'll see what happens. Thoughts on Amazon? All right, let's do Amazon. And after this, I'm gonna hop off. My throat's killing. Shorter time frame. Let's remove all this shit and zoom out. Alrighty. Here we go. Amazon's down on 0.5 fib support. Good bounce. Amazon's fine. As long as the market doesn't roll over, Amazon's holding off support, not looking bad. What you don't want to see is if we drop and snap 118. If we snap 118, that's where we'll get them moved down to 102. So it's not looking bad. We have to see how the market goes tomorrow. I hope this helped, guys. Use proper risk management. Risk management is key. It's the most important thing. You don't want to go blowing your account up. And the biggest piece of advice I can give you, and a lot of people are going to hate hearing this, you're not going to be a fucking millionaire overnight, right? Truth is, you're not going to turn 5 grand into 500 grand and be the next Tim Sykes. But if you have 5 grand and you're practicing and you're learning and you're making money outside of the market, you can grow that account, and that's how you can make a shitload of money. It took me nearly 5 years to go from 5 grand to about 100 grand. And I also put some money in. I put another 20 grand in. And from there, I was able to grow it to 2 to 3. And now, just selling cash secured puts, once you have a lot of money, you can go ahead and sell cash secured puts and make good money. And that's why I try to tell a lot of people, like, don't quit your fucking job to become a trader. Please don't do that. I will be the first person to tell you, don't do that. Your best bet, if you really want to make a lot of money as an investor or a trader, learn to trade, learn to swing trade. I like selling cash secured puts. Find a job or a career you fucking love. Go start a company, go start a side hustle, go do something you love. Live below your means, sack away a ton of cash, sell cash secured puts or trade longer swing trades, and that is how you grow your net worth and you grow your money. You don't take 5 grand, quit your job, and think you're going to become the next fucking big trader. It just doesn't work out like that for 99.9% of people. What kind of car do you drive? A 2022 Toyota Camry SE. A little cold weather package. That's my bougie. That's my bouge coming out. Yeah, no, I got a 2022 Camry. I was thinking about getting, like, I've had almost 11 cars this year. I hit this point where I started, like, really making more money than I ever thought was possible in the past year. And I felt this, like, emptiness in my soul, and I started buying a lot of cars. And I didn't have them all at once, but, like, I had a Genesis G80, I had 3 Lexuses, I had an Audi A4 for a bit, and then I ended up buying, like, an Acura, and I ended up getting, I had a fucking Toyota Prius for a bit too, which is stupid, but then I ended up getting the Camry, and I've just held on to the Camry. And I've contemplated getting, like, another car, but I'm like, the only other car I really want is, like, a Lexus, another Lexus, or maybe a Tesla. I'm one of those people where I am right now, like, I'm not going to buy a car and drive it for 20 years, right? I feel that, like, having a nice car is actually something I really care about, not to, like, a detriment, but just because, like, I really enjoy driving. I really enjoy driving. And so I'm going to drive a nice car. I might as well. And I spend a lot of money on suits. Like, a lot of money on suits. I have 40 suits. I have fat suits, I have skinny suits, I have regular suits, I have holiday suits, because my body fluctuates so much. So I spend a lot of money on suits too. Moshe, what's up, bro? But yeah, I drive a 2022 Camry. What days do you stream normally? Seems like it's been a while. Dude, I try to stream like a couple times a week, but sometimes I just don't feel like it, and not in a bad way. I want you guys to realize that it's like, sometimes I get depressed. Sometimes I'm not in the mood to, like, just fucking, like, if I'm gonna get on and I'm gonna live stream, like, I'm gonna give you guys everything I fucking have. And there are days where, like, I just don't, right? Like, I don't have that, so I just don't do it. But I'd like to do it 2 or 3 times a week. I always say 30 minutes and it becomes like an hour and a half. But we'll see what happens. I would like to do it every day. Maybe I can get some sort of schedule together. I have 2 Teslas, big car guy. I will never go back to a gas vehicle. Instant torque is too addictive. I agree, man. And that's what I want. Like, I want to get a Tesla. The only issue right now is, like, they're so ridiculously overpriced to buy a used one. Even though I have the money, it's just the principle of, like, fuck that. And to take like a new one would take almost 6 months, and I'm way too impatient for that shit. And I feel that if I'm going to do it, I want to get like a Model X or a Cybertruck so I can write it off. Um, and I feel like a Cybertruck would be cool, so I could like do videos, like I could trade in it or some shit. I don't know. We'll see. What do you think about the Fed meeting? I think we're gonna dump, but like I said, not so much that I'm like massively in puts, but I do think we'll dump. How much did you start your portfolio with, and where do you have it now? Fuck, I'm not gonna talk forever about this, but so I started with 5 grand. I went from 5 grand to 50 grand in like almost 8 or 9 months. Thought I was the shit. Thought I was so fucking good. And I lost it all. I went from like 50 grand down to like 7 grand. And it was like heartbreaking at the time, dude. So from there, it took me close to 5 years to get up to like 200 G's, adding some money in there as well, working at a law firm. And then from there, I just sold cash secured puts. I would look to make about 41% return per year, living really low budget. I owned a duplex that I was living in at the time, so like my rent was free. I didn't really have to pay for anything. And right now I have about $310,000 under management in my portfolio. And then I have money in my just savings account and the corporate account for when shit hits the fan, or if I want to go buy real estate or buy this donut shop or like buy something. I try to keep a couple $100,000 just sitting around, because if I put it in my broker account, I will have way too much money sitting around, and I will do stupid fucking shit with it, like YOLO trades and shit. So I don't want to do that. But like I said, realistically, you're not going to turn 5 grand into 500, but what you can do is learn and find a job you really love and start a company, and from there just, put money in and learn to trade. Learn the system, right? If you've been trading for 2 months, if I gave you $2 million, you wouldn't know how to turn it into 3, let me see. If you don't have a reservation for a Cybertruck, it will be at least 3 years. I have a reservation, but I just still think it's going to take 3 years, honestly. But I do have a reservation. How big are you on real estate? I fucking love real estate. So I had 2 properties, sold them. I just bought this last property now. I love it. I love real estate. The issue is I'm very big. So remember we talked about earlier, you guys said like money I spend every month. I'm not big on buying things. I'm big on buying my time. Like, I don't mow my lawn. I don't wash my car. I don't want to cook my food. I don't want to clean my house. I don't do my laundry, right? I want to buy my time back. And so when I first started in my real estate, I made a lot of money. Not a lot. I made about 200 grand in my real estate endeavor so far. And that helped a lot, too. But I don't want to be there swinging hammers. Like, I remember my first real estate, like my first duplex I bought, I had to tear a bathroom down to the studs, get black mold out of the bathroom. I don't want to deal with that shit. Like, I'm at a point in my life right now, like, I don't want to fucking do that. So I've pulled back on my real estate a lot because I don't want to be doing it. And I want to have a contractor that I work with that I trust, which is very hard to come by. And the market's just not there, right? Like, the property I found now that I've been living in for the past 2 years, so I ended up buying the house for $240,000 during the height of the pandemic, and houses were ripping. Houses in my area couldn't stay on the market for longer than a month. And this property was it was like November of 2020. Yeah, it was still 2020. And so basically the house was like, they listed it for 260 and it was on the market for like 9 months. And I was like, dude, this house is still on the market, even though nothing can stay on the market right now. And so I did research into the property. Basically, this house was fucking destroyed. It was like a recluse woman who was an alcoholic. She like lived with rats and like seriously, no joke. Terrible, terrible place. And she died, left the house to her daughter. Her daughter bought or sold it to this investment company. These flippers came in and they took a hard money loan against the property at the height of the pandemic, like January of 2020, right before the pandemic. And so with a hard money loan, you usually have like a year to repay it, and it's like a 14% interest rate. It's massive. So I knew that they were hurting for money and they needed to sell it. And they ran out of money. So all of the work was done and done correctly, but the finishings weren't there. Like the kitchen wasn't done. They put appliances in, but like the cabinets were still fucked up and the flooring was fucked up. And so I offered them 240 grand. They took it. I put about $5,000 worth of work into it, did all the work myself. And then two houses down the street just sold for like 560 grand. This is like back maybe 4 or 5 months ago. So I called my mortgage company and I was like, listen, like I've done not going to say I lied, but I was like, I did substantial work to this place. Like I need to get another, like I need someone out here to give me an appraisal. So they came out and appraised it and it's worth 340 grand right now. So I ended up making $100,000 in equity that I could go pull out tomorrow if I wanted. It's just finding the right deal. And my interest rate on this place is like 2.1%. So I'm probably never going to sell it. I'll just rent it out or something. But I am big into real estate. I think real estate is a great way to make money. It's just about the right market. So now, just like me recently, I've been doing well in the markets and I really just don't have time to take care of my yard, clean. Because like, dude, here's the thing, right? Like, Olerin, and this is really crazy if you're somebody who is not making so much money that you think you can do this. But like, don't do a $10 an hour job. Right? Like my mentor is always like, why would you do a $10 an hour job? Like, why would you mow your lawn? Why would you clean leaves? Why would you rake? And why would you do like, go do shit you love? Go do shit you enjoy. And here's the thing too. I'm not a hard worker. I can work hard when I have to, but I'm not someone who's sitting here in my office 12 fucking hours a day. And when you look at the richest people in the world, they don't do that either. Right? Look at Warren Buffett. Like he spends his time thinking, right? Being in a strong mental state, being able to handle those things. It's very important. And I look at work like a lion hunting, right? The lion doesn't just, I love Gary Vaynerchuk, but the lion doesn't just like fucking go, 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 like all the time. That's not what the lion does. The lion sits, the lion waits, the lion relaxes, the lion has a clear mental energy. And then when it's time to hunt, he fucking hunts and he sprints and he's strong and he does things with conviction and then he rests. And that's how I look at like real work. Because the truth of the matter is, even if you guys work at a restaurant or you work like whatever your work is, you really probably only have 2 hours worth of good, solid fucking work every day. Max. Like we don't have the comprehension skills to do that. So I try to get like 2 to 4 hours of serious hard work in. And then right now, like I'm working on hiring like an admin team to like help me with the hundreds and hundreds of DMs and comments and messages and pings and shit that I get on a daily basis. All right, guys, hit the like button. I fucking love you. We went way over 30 minutes. I don't even know how long we've been doing this. An hour and 20 minutes. All right, I guess I got to get on a call at 4 o'clock. All right, guys, I love you. Have a good day. Enjoy yourself. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Please use proper risk management. Please realize if you're somebody who is taking trading seriously, please realize that this is a lifelong commitment and a lifelong skill, and have that type of mentality and that type of outlook. And no matter where you are in life, no matter how shitty you think it might be, fucking enjoy it. Because I look back at the shittiest times of my life with such a twinkle in my eye of like, fuck, man, I remember those days. Like sometimes I'll drive to like the shitty corner store I used to get dollar hoagies at, and I'll just like get a dollar hoagie and I'll sit on a milk crate and just be like, remember the days, dude. But enjoy it, guys. Fucking love you. Have a good day. Peace.